what tell everybody what you want to do for the island, or if you've got a job, tell everybody what your job is.
Okay.
Amon, if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my name is Franklin. I don't know why I'm Bob Bobson on Facebook. It just felt like the thing to do at the time. And then Facebook wouldn't let me change it again for 60 days. So there I am, Bob. Um, yeah, so
That,
I had the idea of a joint purchase of an island as kind of a retreat, a way to get away from the world. And I posted that idea in another Facebook group, and it got a lot of support. Immediately formed a Facebook group, and we had 1,000 members within 24 hours, or just right around 24 hours. Um, Me personally, I'm a teacher. I'm from Denver, Colorado originally. Lived abroad a lot in Europe, France, in Egypt, in Haiti, and Ghana. And I'm kind of a dreamer in a somewhat pragmatic sense. And I'm really excited actually about working with you guys, um, uh, people from all over the world, on the project of creating kind of a home base for us. Really excited about it.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. Cohen, would you like to say your piece?
Yes, I'm Koen from the Netherlands, 28 years old. I kind of saw the post in the Facebook group of Amon, aka Bob, and I immediately got interested and followed it. And first few days I was like, well, I'll see where this is going, but I got more interested and more interested every day, and liked the idea. And I like big projects like this. I've done one or two in the past as well, like internationally groups people, and like massive collaborations. In normal day life, I'm a web programmer and a educational innovator at the university here in Tilburg in the Netherlands, and so I'm full-time employed, but I can't wait to kind of leave that all behind and go to Panama and join this awesome community. And no, well, I don't know. Panama is a nice idea, but I mean, just being a digital nomad and travel and work at the same time. That's my goal, actually, to do that within a year. So
it's a beautiful dream.
I'm just putting different eggs in different baskets, and this is one of them right now.
And seeing what comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Abby?
okay. Yeah, I just unmuted my microphone. Okay, so that's a small introduction about me. Is well, everything is written in the Facebook itself. I've been trained as a chemical engineer, and I did my master's also in biochemical engineering and a bit of food background. So, and now I'm working in the university after finishing my PhD in KU Leuven. Apparently, it has been vouched as the 35th best university in the world. So pretty good thing. I would not like to leave this university, but I'm just hoping that I'd just be like Koen, a digital nomad kind of thing. But yeah, coming from India, the fact that this nomadic concept is a very old concept in India as well. If you talk about these monks, who leave the whole their house and everything and go to the mountains and stay there for years and years, is a kind of like a vanaprastha. In Sanskrit, it's called vanaprastha. When you leave everything, when you have reached everything, and you just leave everything and you retreat, let's say. It's kind of like I have not received anything in life in that sense, but I'd like to retreat. I'd like to retreat, and most importantly, I got hooked by Amon's idea of building a kind of like an ecologically sustainable island. Having a background of chemical engineering with a bit of biochemical and food, I could probably help in the sustainable irrigation part, which can be done in the island. And also, one of my main focus would be to actually use the water, so actually to treat the water and try to use it for sustainable purposes. That's one of my main target. That's all from me.
Very useful for the island.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
And Tola, is that how you pronounce your name? Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I'm Tola. Nice to meet you all. And I'm from the UK, as I said to you before. And for me, actually, I lived in Germany before, and I went to a place called Wustrow. And there, it's quite famous in Germany because of the whole nuclear thing that was going on in the 70s. And actually, if you go there, there are lots of people who, mostly hippies, who wanted to start something different, to live in a different way. And so they created little small communes, right? And we went to one. It's like a group of 10 houses, 10 families, and they've been living like that for 15 years, more or less. And they do things very sort of, they have like a communal part. They cook together and things like that. And I was quite impressed. I was quite skeptical at first, but after asking the question, I was like, it sounds interesting. And so when I heard about this kind of island, this project that was being done, I thought, okay, actually, you know what, let's see what can happen. And I was even speaking to Alan about it before. And I'm saying it's a place where, you know, people can, not like everyone, we're all different, but people essentially can see that as a place where they can go to a second home, if you will.
It'll be interesting to see where we
And
go from here.
exactly,
Yeah.
essentially that, and everyone working together for a certain goal. People
Yeah.
from different backgrounds with different skills. And so that's why I thought, hey, let's get involved. Let's see what can happen, and that's it. And like I've lived in different countries as well, and it's always interesting to see what people can come up with and how people can work together. So that's why I thought I'd get involved.
Yeah. Well, I'll just do a quick introduction of myself. I'm Chris. I enjoy making videos, so I thought, why not create this event, this meeting where we're able to introduce everybody to the rest of the Nomads group. So I think we should move on to the next topic real quick and go on to vision and mission. Why are we buying this island? Sorry. I guess I could begin. I mean, Amon was saying something quite good just before we started the live feed. What was it we were saying before, Amon?
Say again, Chris. Sorry.
When we were talking about the why we are buying this island, you were talking. You were discussing with us the reasons why. I thought it was quite. There were some good points in what you were saying before we had this conversation. Or shall I direct this to Cohen? Would he be best suited to answer the question why we are buying an island?
Yes, he would definitely be more suited.
Yeah.
Pass it to him. Pass it to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because I'm head of REC or what?
Yeah, exactly. You're going to find the island, aren't you? You're going off hunting for it.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, he
right.
has done a tremendous job so far. Absolutely, no doubt.
Thank you. Well, I wasn't the only one. Among others, were doing lots and lots of work, and you know, Tola was also involved in this. I think no, that was you. That was you. Yeah. All right. Why are we buying an island? Because it's awesome. I've got asked this question also by people. You know, why an island? Why not some piece of land? I think the main thing, the first thing geographically, I think an island creates even more of an awareness of like we are a community. We have to deal with each other on this set piece of land surrounded by water, unless it's in a peninsula. But anyway, it's a distinct difference between just buying a piece of land on land than buying an island. That geographically. The other point I can see why an island would be interesting is because it's a lifelong dream of many, many people. It's it speaks to a lot of people's minds. Like it's kind of this fantasy that many people have, and the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the post of Amon in the group was just like, why the hell not? Like, we all have this dream. And we say to ourselves many, many excuses, like, why can't we do this? And, just always this one guy or or woman that has to say like, yeah, why not actually? So that's I think those two reasons are reason enough in the first place to go pursue it. Then why I think it's a better idea to discuss it is like, um, um, what is the higher purpose of the island? We can build houses and we can be there and we can have a community there, but
Yeah.
that is not, that's the first step, and then it's like what are we here for on this island? That's more of the question that I would like to discuss a little bit, and maybe we decide
Absolutely.
that doesn't matter.
I think
I think
everybody's got
that's
their own
yeah,
idea of that,
yeah.
haven't they?
Yeah, I think that's the main goal, is to have at least a 10 years and or a 20 years goal from now, So that would be making the whole plan extremely, let's say realistic in many sense.
Yeah,
At least 10 years, at least.
Yeah, I don't want to say that we should have a really big vision, but at least we should have thought about it. Maybe we do say like, what the hell? Let's first buy the island and build some houses, and then after 4 years of being on the island, we will find a new goal. Then there at that moment, that could also be a direction. I'm just saying, let's discuss it.
Yeah.
That's true.
So when you've been finding the islands, have you come across any problems that you've been having? I mean, what's the biggest challenges that you've been having?
Well, I would say, but I mean, Tola and Abi can also say something about this, I think. Or maybe Abi, I don't know. The biggest challenge for me was to actually, the group spoke out and said, like, we want to have an island in Europe.
Yeah.
And this proved from the get-go really, really difficult, because the islands are so expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
You were looking at least 3-4 million euros and up for
it's not really
barren...
practical, is it? I mean, when you have that sort of islands, you don't have the real nature there. It's already been.
But I think just interject. I think when we first had this idea of buying an island, I think a lot of people they think about it would be great to have an island, but they don't think about, okay, what's the feasibility of this island that I'm proposing? It's just a dream. So we're thinking more like, okay, let's actually buy an island and let's make sure it's something that's actually feasible in terms of finance, and regulations and things like that. But a lot of people who do recommend islands just think, oh, it would be nice to have an island, a Greek island,
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be nice to have an Italian island. Not thinking of, well, actually, if I were to buy one, how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it would probably be cheaper to get one in, say, in Panama or in Southeast Asia? And that's what you saw. A lot of the debates that were happening on the group were centered around that. People saying, actually, look, stop thinking about Mediterranean islands. Think about other islands. But again, there are people like that. So I guess that's a hurdle that I think we've more or less managed to actually.
The voting seems to be going in the direction of
right.
Which island was it? Wasn't
originally it was Tortuga, I think, and then after Amman took out, then now it's Panama.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's more like, okay, if you want to be serious, you should start thinking about not just having an island, but how feasible buying particular islands are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are parameters. There are parameters why Panama Island is much better than the other options, and then there are clear reasons now for that. But of course, I mean, no island is perfect. I mean, just like as we are, there has to be
just as a group.
Exactly, just as the group itself.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in just for a second there, and kind of reiterate what Abi was just saying. Absolutely, people have brought up points about problems with the Panama option versus the Chile option or other islands. It's true, we're not, for the money that we can raise, let's be honest with ourselves, we can't have a perfect island. But as a community of people with, diverse backgrounds and skill sets, I believe that we can make the option work. If we can get the people behind it, then we can make the option work. It'll be difficult, but we can do it. We just can't go in with a pie in the sky kind of attitude, as one of our group members suggested. We need to really look at it seriously, understand the problems, understand how to mitigate those problems, and then move forward as a group collectively with consensus.
Yeah, I think we would all totally agree with that. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, Luke has joined. Maybe he can give a small introduction of himself.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Lucas?
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me, right? Because
Yep.
you can. My video is not there.
I can hear you perfectly well.
Ah, that's great. That's great, guys. I am in a complicated country at the moment. I am in Belarus,
Okay.
and I don't know if
Well,
you
you
know
have the
about.
beautiful girls. You have the beautiful girls there. It's
Yeah,
not
beautiful
complicated.
girls, but you know there is internet connection is limited. They limited the upload to a really low level that you cannot actually stream stuff.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
Maybe that's why you cannot see my video. It's like I searched for like 3 weeks to find a place where I could.
that's okay. Just tell
Yeah,
us
I
a bit
could
about
upload.
yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I am traveling since few years. I'm kind of nomad, but I come back regularly to my base, which I have now, which is in Belgium.
Wow.
And I have this project to cycle around the world with a bike, of course. And I started from Finland, and I will reach Argentina. But
Wow.
I'm traveling now just in the autumn, and then in the other months I do other things.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, really. Good luck. Good luck with your journey.
Thanks. And
where,
I want.
where in
wanted to
Belgium
ask-
are you based? Sorry. Where in
I'm
Belgium are you based in?
in Ghent. In Ghent.
Okay. I did my PhD.
It's a nice place. It's a nice place.
Yes.
But you said in Leuven. You did something in Leuven, right?
Yeah, I did my PhD from Ghent. I know more or less every bricks of Ghent, more or less.
Yeah. There
Not
is
sure
a
about every
big-
brick, but more or less.
Yeah, there are good universities. There.
Yeah.
Guys, sorry,
Okay,
could we get
let's
back
continue.
to
Yeah.
we're going to
Yeah,
move
you're
on
right.
to
You're right.
we're going to move on to paying
That's
for the
next.
islands. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we've only
I want-
briefly
I want to say something about the island. I don't know if we should speak first about one certain topic and then change, or.
No, there is an agenda.
Yeah. Okay then. Then I wait for the right moment to say what I wanted to say.
Okay. Yeah, just intersect whenever you feel you want to say something.
About about the founding as well, and about the organization. I want to say something. Okay, I will find
Of
the right
course.
moment.
Yeah, well,
We have to go a little
discussing
faster.
the organizational structure in just a bit.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just wondering what everybody's idea of how we would buy the islands initially. I mean, does anybody have any idea? I mean, like I've heard about shares and some people using the island as a timeshare, or I mean, how would you see the island in the future? I'll just pick a name at random, I guess. Tola, how about yourself?
Before I speak, I think I'm on because you kind of raised your hand, so I think you wanna. I think
He wants to speak.
I'll pass it over to him.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tola. There is something very important I would like to mention about the idea of the financial organization. From the first mention I made of the joint purpose of an island, people were saying, "Where do I send my money?" And it was way too soon. We need to ensure that we have a very solid financial plan, financial protections for all of the members of the island. We need to have a consensus about how to do that plan. As you've mentioned, Chris, yeah, some people have suggested shares. There are pros and cons to having shares. If we have a small group of people, having shares allows us to gain larger funding amounts from certain members for added benefits for those members. However, there may be social problems with
Benefits such as.
that. Say again, Luke?
Sorry,
He was
you
saying
said benefits. What kind of benefits did those?
Well, that's
Depending.
something that is all theoretical, right?
Yeah, of course.
so it wouldn't be productive to discuss that necessarily in this forum.
Yeah, of course.
But if somebody puts in more money and has greater benefits, whatever they may be, dedicated space or whatever it might be, that's one option. The other option is to have an equal buy-in by everybody, which is much easier if we have a larger group of people. And that really has yet to be seen. Of our 2,338 or however many members we have, what percentage are actually serious in terms of bringing the money to the table when the time comes. It's a difficult balance that we're really going to have to decide later. But one of the things that we will necessarily decide before that is the legal organization of our entity, because all of our collective money has to go first to an organization, and that organization being a protection for all of us financially, and the organization then buying the island. So we own the organization, and the organization owns the island. And I think that's probably the best way to protect the project financially and the individuals as well.
And what about platforms
before-
of crowdfunding, for example? Have you ever thought about it, like crowdfunding, like Kickstarter?
I think for an investment, I think crowdfunding will be a bad route to go down, because we're individual investors in the island, so you can't exactly crowdfund for an investment, because crowdfunding is an investment.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, if we're doing projects where we're building things on the island,
Exactly.
crowdfunding will be fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chris makes a very good point, Luke. One of the problems with crowdfunding is certain websites prohibit the purchase of real property or real estate. Kickstarter is one of those. However, some of our members may not have as much money as they would like or need to invest in the project. Those individual members may use Indiegogo or other crowdfunding sites to raise the money that they need for their piece of the pie. Otherwise, I think we may have to use a different forum. I have a few ideas in mind, but once again, it's a little premature for that. We haven't actually selected a property yet.
Can I just interject? You're talking about setting up an organization to buy the island. Have you thought of this sort of organization you would like to set up?
It really will depend on the country in which the island resides.
Right.
We may have advantages if it's Chile, or if it's Italy, or if it's Panama. We will have different advantages to different legal formations. Generally think that a nonprofit organization is probably not the way to go. However, it may prove the most tenable or feasible option.
But why wouldn't it be the way to go? Because surely, in terms of finances, it would be the most feasible option, no? Or
not necessarily, because the structure. One, it would depend on what country the nonprofit organization was formed in.
Sure.
In the United States, which I am familiar with, I'm not familiar with other places. The United States, it would be very difficult to get tax-exempt status for a project like this. We would have to kind of concoct a reason for it, seek full conservation or whatever it may be, and that's a very difficult way to go and not entirely honest, in my opinion. And what's more, if we decided as an organization to try and do activities that raised funds for our future property taxes, future development, or whatever it may be, those for-profit activities would be restricted by, our organization wouldn't be able to do those. However, if we had a for-profit entity, as long as we are not making money, we can avoid taxes all the same. So we're not paying taxes because we're not making money. But if we decide to in the future, we still have that option. But if we go with a nonprofit, we don't have that option. We only have one option.
Yeah. So okay. Kun wanted to say something. That's
I was wondering if my hand was noticed. I find it really way too premature, and therefore also irrelevant to talk about such specifics in this meeting about the island. I mean, I don't know if I'm alone in this or that. I mean, this could be a topic that can be discussed on its own.
I
in
suppose
like the whole.
it can, but
Yeah,
I was just
it's
trying
too
to-
premature. It's too bit premature to discuss in such detail. But of course, a bit of
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
is very important.
Yeah, just,
It's-
it was meant
it's
to be a
okay.
brief thing, like just to
Yeah.
give people an idea of,
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
how.
Yeah, no offense to any of this. I mean, it's good that we are discussing stuff, but to me, it sounds like it's all over the place. Like sometimes we're talking about finance, sometimes about the organizational structure, sometimes about how the voting is going. Yeah, for me, this is already good. We're just having a face.
It's a first meeting,
face to all
Kun.
the
It's a
names.
first meeting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
We'll
Just
structure it
saying.
out next onwards. Okay.
I think we'll
Yeah.
probably have to do further meetings where we hone in on a certain subject and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
speak about
Right.
that.
Yeah, and also do a bit of study ourselves. You know, we haven't studied much yet.
Yeah.
We have to do a bit of homework ourselves. At least me have to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's lovely to meet you guys as well. Nice to meet you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, yeah. That's important,
Likewise.
of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I a
By the way,
beautiful.
Amman, can I just ask a question? This is just going back to the topic. After the voting has finished, what is the plan?
Yeah. Well, there are a number of steps. I think the first step would actually be financial, in terms of once we have an island selected, what is the actual budget that we need? Because each individual island will have its individual challenges. For example, Panama, the major solution is going to be water. We've discussed that in some posts. Other places it might be, some other issue. But we have to create a budget based on if we were to pay the full price for the island, which is unlikely, and what would be the development costs, what are some of the associated costs with the purchase of the island, taxes, registration, stamp taxes, whatever they may be. We need to total all of that and create a monetary figure, a threshold, if you will, that we need to ensure that we meet. Otherwise, the project isn't possible.
Okay.
And then-
Also, I would like.
Yeah, Cohen.
Also, I'd like to add that we need to figure out with the buyers and with the real estate agents that have the islands in their portfolio, if they're even open to discussing selling it to us, selling it to a group like
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Because there's this owner of this island, and they can, of course, always flat out refuse to go into negotiations with us. It's free up to them.
Or if there are other buyers in the meantime, that will be faster.
Well, let's not hope so.
No,
I don't even know the
Challenges.
speed. How is the speed of buying an island? If because when you buy a house, you may have someone before you buying it, just in few days.
Well,
Oh,
islands
okay.
don't change. Islands don't change owners that often, that fast. It's not such a fast-moving market.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, we really need to consider this. That once we made a choice, now we first need to go into contact, in my opinion, like the real estate agent, and sort of investigate if what the status of the island exactly is, and
Yeah.
if we even have a chance. Because before that, we might have like a whole financial plan and like 1,000 backers, and we have maybe even money in our account, and then we go to the real estate agent, and he says like, "Yeah, I'm not going to sell this island to a bunch of hippies. Go away."
Well, it would be good to have, because I think Amman, there is a financial team. There is a finance team, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It would be good if they, basically if they're on call, because they need to come up with a plan. So at least when we do go to the real estate, and they say, hey, okay, sounds interesting. How do you plan on actually buying the islands? We can say, oh, by the way, we already are working on a plan, and the finance team is there.
Yes.
In order to
Yeah.
answer any
Yeah.
questions that may come up.
There could be also some ground challenges that we have to really look forward to once none of us have set our step yet in Panama yet, so we have to really know the ground conditions there. We can rely, of course, on local Panamanians, but remember, none of them will talk bad about their own country. Neither would I, neither would anybody of us. So we have to be very careful on that, and like time, of course, is a crucial factor, as I believe, as Luke said, that somebody could already buy, but we should really be very careful about where we are buying, especially
I
there's
guess,
but
I guess that's
drop.
where the videos can come in. Like we could go out and have a look at the island ourselves and see how it is, and get a professional to have a look around, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and get a professional opinion of
Yes.
where we're
Yeah.
going.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's not the voting's not isn't the it's the first hurdle, isn't it? I mean, after the voting, we've got to make sure we can get the island, and it's going to be a long process, but
Yeah.
we'll get there eventually.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing that we must do among all of us, not only the admins, is that we have to believe that we have to get this island.
Oh,
That's
for
very
sure.
important. I
Yeah.
mean, without this, we shouldn't have even 1% doubt that maybe the project is gonna fail. That's gonna be devastating, actually.
Let's not even
mean-
talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go on to
Yeah.
the next.
To be fair,
topic.
if that belief didn't exist, we wouldn't be this far already, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Bro,
but-
we've been quite well.
Yeah, but we haven't paid a penny yet. Remember that.
True,
Uh,
true.
And also remember, guys, we are just at the start of this. Like
Of course.
Yeah.
like really, you need to consider that this you're in it for the long haul, because
Yeah, absolutely.
this isn't gonna be next month that, oh hey guys, we got an island,
No,
congratulations.
no. Yeah, exactly.
This, wouldn't surprise me if this is a multi-year project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Amon has an idea. I mean, he has a lot of ideas, right? I mean, you wanted to make it a multiple, like let's start something with something after a few years down the line. So it's not like everything we're going to start together. It's not going to hold, I think. First the livability, and then how to make it a further like an ecotourism or something like that, a bit part of the island. I think you had some ideas, right? You and Kun on the turtles issue, which I found it quite interesting as well. But I don't know.
think there are a lot of things we could talk about. I think.
Yeah,
Kun,
well, not now. I mean, yeah, indeed.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there are a lot of
I think Kun
things in
said
the
it well.
pipeline.
There's some things certainly that we should talk about during this meeting, and then reserve other options for the future. For example, a 10, 20-year plan or even a 1-year plan is a little out of our scope at this time. Our group is 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
It's only 6 weeks. That's a baby of an organization. We're still learning, we're still growing, we're still making lots of mistakes, and we're fixing those mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And as we go along, we'll discover solutions that will work best for our group, with our vision and our mission in mind. So I'm confident we'll be able to manage just fine.
Right. No, I think that's
I
to be
just
very
wanted to mention that like this the voting really is the first hurdle. You're right, Chris, but it's not. It's a very, very small bump in the whole road towards
course.
this.
course.
Like, because I don't know how the laws are in Panama and how easily we might be able to like build stuff on the islands if we need permits or something. I've worked with eco villages here in the neighborhood, and that's like local, not even an island, not even like full title transformation, or not even full title transfer to the land. It's all like lease, and they are already in it for 8 years just to build an eco village here in the Netherlands with all the rules and regulations that it entails, because of course the building techniques are different than is usual. It's not like bricks. They of course built with like hay bales and stuff. I don't know how this is in Panama. I don't know also how fast we can move forward. All of us with some of us full-time jobs or full-time studies. So this is really, like Amon said, it's 6 weeks. I didn't even realize this, but six weeks.
6 weeks is nothing, yeah.
1.5 month.
Nothing,
1.5 month.
nothing, really nothing.
But what's good is that I believe we have members who are from Panama. I think after this, if the Panama option does win, I think it's important to try our best to reach out to people who are from Panama. Because of course, if they're already in Panama, it's easier for them to
That's what
find
Chris
out about-
said. That's what Chris said. A video, of a bit of a tour. That's very important. Very important. Yes,
Because
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure there are probably nomads living in Panama who don't know about this project. If we can reach out to them, then things will move quicker, in my opinion.
We have potential competitors.
It is in process. We're in process of contacting
Right.
people, but we didn't want to do that prematurely.
Of course.
Obviously, the voting is done, right? The voting hasn't finished.
No.
It's got a large lead, though, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
mean,
mean there is a lead, but the positions of islands have switched in the past, and we need to always
True.
respect everybody's individual decisions on what they
Shouldn't, yeah, of course.
feel like is
Yeah,
important.
Yeah.
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 And just so that you're to be sure, like I don't want to come off like as a pessimist or something. I just want everyone to realize, in a realistic way, I would rather, have this island tomorrow than yesterday. But it's and let's just fucking do it. It's gonna be tough along the road.
And I would
But
like to
it's gonna
add
be awesome.
something following up on what Kon said. I just want to thank him personally because I know who's been involved. I know that those in this video chat right now have been heavily involved. But Kon himself has done a massive amount of work for this group.
absolutely.
Just want to say
100%.
Yeah, of course,
thank
of
you to
course.
Kon for that.
I couldn't have done it without all of you guys, really. I mean,
Yeah, you,
if it was just me, or if it was just me and Amon, it would have been like, yeah, okay, this initiative, is not going anywhere. But the solid group of core people that have been involved in the past few weeks really makes me believe that this really does have a shot at
why not? I
completing.
mean,
And
that's the point. Why not?
no, but I
Absolutely.
mean, of course, but you need a core group of people that
Yes.
is actually supporting each other in this effort because
Yeah.
Of course, of
because
course, of course. Support is always important,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just good
How many
community.
members do you think that we can actually have in practical for this island? How many members do you think that we can actually have? Like, let's say I would not talk about the floating members, but let's say permanent members. I mean, how many do you think would
Permanent
be there?
residents or something. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
residents. Yeah, sort of like
Uh-huh.
residents.
I'm
I
not
would
sure if I
say
understand. Go on, Kon.
given the size of we just still don't know what island will win, but going for Mayagua, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but anyway, I think about 300, 350 for
350.
permanent, yeah, for permanent residents. Also keeping in mind, as in, we need to do like agriculture and water, and like we need to sustain people, not only give people places to stay on the island, but like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so, and then we can have like more that stay sometime, like in the summer or in the winter. But
So let's so
350.
that yeah. So let's say that's like one Christopher Columbus and remaining 299 of his crew. That's good. Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
I suspect that maybe the estimate is a little bit high, but honestly, we'll be able to figure out the solution that we need for our core group. We know that our over 2,300 members in our Facebook group are not going to all be involved.
No, no.
Probably a very small percentage, and then of those who decide to get involved, that group can reach outside of Facebook or into other groups in Facebook, or through YouTube and various other social media platforms. We can reach out and we can get the people that we need involved in the project to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
This is something for the communications committee as well, huh?
Yeah.
Like the communications committee can set up a plan how we can actually get out there and get our project to be noticed.
Yeah.
Because this is what I noticed in my previous projects also, which were big. Like you get attention from people you didn't even expect you would get attention from. Once you get like some articles on some news websites that mention
Exactly.
you, some videos out
Yeah.
there, people
Especially
that
if something can go viral
people-
as well. If they can produce something that can go viral,
Dead.
then
Go
they
for
can
dead.
also.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying that
you
it's
need to be-
definitely go
you need to
viral,
be
but
careful.
if
You need to be careful with that as well, because you need to be able to deal with all the attention as well. If
True.
you're a very small group of people and you get all of a sudden like 100 or 200 emails a day because something went viral, then that's going to also affect you negatively,
Yeah.
That's true.
because then people will have to wait for their answers, and they get
Franklin is
he's shaking, yeah.
Well, if there are 2,300 members of the group, 10% is already 230, which is quite convincing. And 10% is not a big amount, It's not a big percentage. So if there are serious candidates of 230, I think that's where Aman was referring to, like 200, 230-ish people could be
Yeah, but come on.
quite
It
feasible.
took us some effort already to have at least 10% of the group voted,
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
let alone pay.
But
Yeah.
this is something. Let's be honest with ourselves. This is something that's all speculative at this
Of
stage.
course.
So,
Of course.
you know, we'll move forward. We'll do what we have to do. We'll adapt. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, it's all about numbers, isn't it? If we can get more people, if we can spread the news a little bit more now. I mean, like not going viral or anything, but just increasing the amount of people that are interested in the project now. Then 10% will grow into quite a big number over a period of time.
Yeah, that's true.
But then if it's over a long period of time, it's important to keep that motivation up and the momentum as well.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. And keep
Amon,
pushing
you were
forward.
shaking your head when I was telling
Yes, yes.
But there may be also people that wants to contribute financially and maybe even a bit less participating, which is also welcome eventually.
Mhm,
True.
of course.
That's why this can also.
I think that would be very interesting if indeed there is a core group that is formed which actually, let's say, buys the whole thing and like tries to maintain it permanently. And we do have some floating members who keep on coming every year, and instead of actually paying money, they keep on working they keep on doing something. We would need people anyway. And I mean it's not. I think we should be. The whole idea is to actually keep the whole. The concept of this Nomad Island to be aware of to people, as much as possible, to let this know to people,
But-
and if they would like to come, because we are all free to all nomads, I think.
But to come, I think, will be not so hard as finding the funds. I think the main thing is the founding, no?
The farms?
The farms or the
founding,
funds?
The funds, like the money.
The money to buy the island,
Yeah.
you mean, or
To buy, of course, to buy, because I think that people that wants to build or to do afterwards, I guess there are also many platforms where we could find them, such as Workaway, Help Exchange, Woofing.
yeah. But with 230 members, I guess Amon is on the. He was suggesting, right, Amon? I mean, with 230 members, we should be able to have. We should not be able to dig a too much hole in our pockets, right? For this project, or.
It depends. Once again, it depends on the island. It
Of
depends
course.
on our budget.
I mean,
And that's why I suggested earlier that our first step after island selection is to create at least a rough budget, because that budget will then inform how many people we have to get involved.
Yes.
Once we have the financial number and once we have the social number, then of course I agree entirely with Kohn in that we need to just simply do more research on the island itself,
Yes.
contact the owner. I of course have all of that information for some of our options, and then we can move forward in kind of in that regard, in terms of seeing what the real possibility is, moving it from the theoretical or the ideological into the concrete, creating, as is mentioned in the comments on this, a more concrete plan with definitive steps in terms of what we need to do to actually make the project happen.
Right. Chris had mentioned some interesting pointers as well for the meeting. There is some FAQ, frequently asked questions, Nomad Island FAQ, which is how new people can register themselves to join the group, and then of course the.
that was the next thing on the agenda.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. This could be interesting to tell, because it's already going to be broadcasted. So.
But because you guys are moving to another topic now, I have to go. So no, it was great to meet you guys, and I'm guessing is somebody keeping like a note? Is someone keeping
Yeah,
notes?
this is being recorded. So
This
Okay,
is
it's
being
being recorded.
recorded,
Fair
so-
enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be pretty good for the finance team, the communications team as well, to watch it, to see, and for them to start thinking anyway of strategies that they can
Yeah.
propose as well.
Tola,
Yeah,
I just want to say before you head out, thank you. Thank you very much for all of your efforts. Thank you for being here. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Could we
Yeah,
could we
no
just Thanks. Could we just meet at least the European group or the European part of the group? Could we just meet once somewhere in Europe, and maybe Amon, you could fly here? I mean, in the is it possible?
It's asking a lot, though.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
Sure,
asking a
it
lot.
doesn't
I
cost.
didn't even know where you're based, Abby. Where are you?
I'm in Leuven.
You're in Leuven. Ah, okay, okay.
Yes.
I'm in Portugal. So if you want
That's
sun,
not very far.
then
Yeah. Okay.
then
Yes.
you can come here.
No, it would be interesting. And at one point, we do have to meet physically, right? I mean, at one point, but that's probably not now.
Yeah, there is already a small number of us meeting in Copenhagen.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
I
I
created
see.
the event in
I see.
Copenhagen, and
Oh, that's great.
even if we are like 3 or 4, at least we have 4 people that saw each other in real, which is already something, huh?
Yeah.
True. Thank you
And
for that. Yeah.
That's very good. Very good. Yeah. Because the more we meet physically, or at least do like this, we gain confidence and we gain
think-
trust among each
Yeah.
other. That's
I
quite
think
of
it'll be
important.
course, and
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
country could have its meeting a bit, no? Every area could have somewhere where people meet and they talk a bit, even if it's just 4 or 5 persons.
Yeah. I think that's excellent, Luke.
That's a good idea.
Just want to jump in real quick and give Tola an excuse to jump out if he needs to go.
I'm gonna go.
So,
But
yeah,
maybe
thanks.
unless you have something important to say, I can hear you out before I go.
Well, it's all recorded, Tola. Thank you for being here for
Okay.
this part. And then Chris, why don't you take us on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
of
cool.
course.
Okay, see ya.
I,
See ya.
Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
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 Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
We have discussed a couple of the topics already that I was going to bring up in the future. So I'm going to take a few of them out. But you were talking about the Nomad Island FAQ, and yeah, that
FAQs,
was
yeah.
the next thing I was going to go on to. I mean, there are a lot of people, new people coming to the group, and they'll be asking questions about how to register themselves to be a
Mhm.
part of this. So the question really is how do they register themselves to join the group? This would go to Ammon.
Yeah, in the group description of our Facebook group, at the end of that description is a FAQ, frequently asked questions. In that document actually links to all of our other documents in the group. Our survey that shows your interest level, that shows what some of your skills and talents are that you bring to the table. It's very short, doesn't take but a few minutes. That's part of that's number 1 on the list of items linked in. In fact, there are a few questions answered. There are financial summaries that are listed. There are a number of other things that are connected in that, including documents for each of the committees. Basically, that document linked in, once again, in the group description on the Facebook page has all of our information. And if there's something missing, you can tell me, and I'll update the document.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what we were looking for. On the FAQ, we talk about the vision, the mission, and the goals. I've not. Let me just get the FAQ up here.
Yep.
Yeah. So this live thing takes a couple of minutes to actually come up on it, but I've just put up the I'm just going to bring up the mission statement now and the goals. So here, sorry about this, guys. It's difficult to multitask like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can imagine.
Yeah, I am writing actually now in the comments already some stuff that we discussed, like the crowdfunding not possible and the non-profit statement, non-profit organization maybe also not possible. I don't know. I just write it there as comment to keep to remember.
To reiterate
We will
what-
organize maybe better those information, but just to have like a chronology about the discussion.
So we've really discussed the mission statement in this conversation, haven't we? But to reiterate what it says, on the vision, the mission, and the goals. It says here that the Nomad Island envisions a place where nomads can escape the world as we know it. Now that's pretty much what we were talking about before, but the mission statement goes on to say the Nomad Island intends first to jointly acquire an island property and to create a basic sustainable infrastructure and also to move to long-term residential facilities and just to create an island where we can live. So we've pretty much discussed most of the stuff here. Is there anything anybody wants to add to their idea of what our mission should be? I guess I would direct this to Abby. Is that... Am I pronouncing your name right? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, I'm following you.
Yeah.
I think as of now, it seems to me there is pretty much quite important things that are being pointed out here, and I don't find as of yet anything extra that needs to be added, but certainly these points need to be what are there should need to be addressed, like with all earnest. I mean, that's very important. I think the main issue would be the water, right? I mean, that's what is also a bit of worrying us, because I mean we are really going to be a bunch of hippies, and I don't know what's going to happen with the kind of pollution that we
let me draw that back real quick. Abby, let me draw that back real quick, because we're talking about the vision and the mission. One thing that we mentioned in our discussion previous to going online with this publicly is that a vision statement is designed to create a picture of what you will have in the future. It's to imagine what's going to happen in the future. The mission statement its purpose is to outline some of the major steps or goals that you have to accomplish to achieve that vision. Now, if we're talking about water, water is something that should be outlined in our goals and some of our procedural elements. Not really relevant to the mission statement per se, because it's a little too precise. And maybe if there's something that, although once again essential to our overall project, of course, but to the mission statement itself, that's something I would invite all of the members of the group to do. Look at the vision, look at the mission, look at the goals, look at our governance document, absolutely, with our code of ethics. Look at some of those core things that we've already worked on in committees and give us feedback on that. If there's a gaping hole, if there's a problem with it, then we need to fix that, because that's going to be kind of our guide. That's going to be our framework as we move forward.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yeah, indeed. I mean, the mission statement has to be like, it's like something that we are going to achieve in short term and in long term basis. That's like what the mission is. And the vision is a very idealistic vision that we're gonna live off grid, yet not disturbing the nature and still trying to play with or rather to stay with the nature, trying not to disturb the local ecosystem, and like that's like the ideal situations.
Live in harmony with the island.
Absolutely. I mean, the last thing what we would like to do is to screw it up completely. I mean, that's not the idea.
The respect for nature. Should be like the first basic, that we respect the nature and the place.
I don't know why Ammon was a bit. I mean, he just left. I don't know why Ammon is a bit averse to the non-governmental organizations, but I would say that I know of one of my colleague who actually got a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation amount, for actually developing a kind of like a ecological toilet for many parts in Africa. Many parts in African countries where there are absolutely no direct facilities for toilets. So I don't know. I should not be away from this kind of philanthropic organizations. I don't think they will I think they will try to help us if we really have some ideas, if you have some good ideas, if you have some nice project ideas. Why not? I mean, this could be interesting, and through this, what I'm trying to think as of myself through this Nomad Island is a kind of like using this like a kind of like an experimental platform for doing some very innovative things which could be actually, like let's say scaled up for even non-islands, let's say in the lands basically. So
I'm sorry. I'm following. I'm finding it difficult to follow as to which point you're trying to get across. Is it about the projects actually on the island, or are you actually talking about when we're purchasing the island as an
yeah,
organization?
after
Yeah, because I
exactly
think
after.
if I can tag on to what you're saying,
Mhm.
Abi, I think Amon was more referring to having NGOs involved in the initial money having to
Okay,
collected,
okay,
because
for
then
the
you get
initial
like
purchase.
stakeholders with
Yes,
different
yes.
visions and different goals than us. But of course, I see no
Okay,
problem, and
okay.
I would be surprised if Amon would have the same, if Amon would have things, would disagree with
Okay, okay. So it was
cooperating
my wrong. Yeah,
with NGOs. But I mean, Amon is back, so he can clarify his statement,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
clarify this. But that's I think the misunderstanding.
Yeah, for the
Okay.
initial purchase, I completely agree with them, and there is no point in inviting this kind of angel investors or NGOs, because then the vision and the mission could be a little bit. Let's be with us, and indeed,
Yeah.
let's try to have a purchase of an island which is not very high, which is not very extremely expensive, but still within our means.
It
That's
seems
right.
it seems we're pretty much running over the hour that we've
Yeah.
allocated. So I thought I'd quickly go on to community governance. I'm going to bring it across for the YouTubers out there. It you should be able to see it on YouTube in just a couple of minutes. But on here if I made a copy. Yeah, on here we're talking about the codes
Community
and ethics
governance.
of the island and how we would protect the islands. I mean, it would probably be a good idea if we instate some sort of law, not necessarily like, I don't mean like the land law. I mean like our own law that's separate from the country's law. Um, our
Like the
own,
Constitution.
yeah, our own constitution. Um, so I'm just wondering if anybody has anything to, if you bring it up onto the computer, the community governance committee information, you'll be able to see the various different the codes of ethics that we've come up with so far. Just wondering, in there you've got all people are equal and be kind, do not harm, improve your surroundings, be honest, be legal
Exactly.
and be economical. But is there anything else that anybody has
Yeah.
any idea about which they would want to add to the code of ethics? I'll aim this at
Well, yeah.
Cohen. Hey, Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was laughing because after you said like, does anyone have to add something to this, and then it was like really quiet, and I actually didn't expect this. Like I was expecting everybody to tumble over each other, like yeah, I got something to add. I have to say honestly that I haven't read this document yet. I didn't even know that people were already working on this. I thought it was even this was a bit premature.
It is a little premature, but
Yeah.
I
No,
think
but
like
okay.
it's just a brief.
But it's good to
kind of-
discuss. It's good to discuss.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
No,
Just
no.
to discuss briefly.
Yeah.
But would be
So
nice
I'll-
to have the comment feature on the document that everybody can comment at least, if not modify, but that even.
But you
for
can
the
comment.
YouTube-
Everybody can comment, I guess, in the document. It's
Yeah.
commentable.
The version I had was not.
Oh, I think yeah. This is view only.
Yeah.
But I have a comment. I can comment it here. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay, Aman is
maybe-
out of the call.
I-
Aman just dropped out.
Yeah. He just dropped out. Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe you can add him back.
Yeah.
Or can I do that? I guess so. Add people.
Yeah, I think he got disconnected probably.
Yeah.
hmm
Let's see if I can add him back.
Yeah.
For Luke, I think
So-
you can comment it. No, I mean, aren't you having the access to comment?
Previous days, not at the moment. I didn't try now, but
Okay, maybe you should
few
do.
days.
Yeah,
should
Amon
try
should
again.
fix it up. I mean, you, Chris and or Kun, I mean, who has the you have to have the editing right, and I think that's or the
Yeah,
comments
that,
right, I think.
yeah, there
Yeah.
are three modes. There are like viewing mode, editing mode,
Editing and
and
comment
suggesting mode. Also.
suggesting. I think suggestion mode is the
Yeah.
So everybody's suggesting here that it should be changed to comments, the suggesting mode. Yeah.
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 That would be useful indeed.
I think that
Indeed.
everybody, like even
Indeed.
not even logged in people, should be able to comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah,
I know
but
when I was speaking to Amon, he was talking about he was worried that it'll be swamped with comments, and he was worried that the actual issues will get diluted if the whole of the document was just full of different people's comments. But
yeah,
But
I
the comments
kinda
go
agree
on the
with-
side. The comments, they will be on the side. They will be like the text
Yes,
will stay
yes,
the
yes, it will be on
same,
the side.
and you have just like discussions for each like word. You can make a discussion, and I think it's really productive.
yeah,
No, I agree with Luke. We should indeed open it for otherwise we won't get the things, I mean, we won't get the right feedbacks, or rather the consolidated feedbacks, and at the end we can just eliminate some of the repeated comments or something like that, and that's not a problem, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what yeah, I think Amon is back probably.
is have we brought Amon back?
No.
I'll see
Nice.
if I can.
No, I tried to add him, but it said like no response, so no answer.
Chris, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah, okay. It's just go to your video. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's okay. I was just wondering that what is the next step now? What is the immediate next step? Let's say the step after the meeting. Let's say what are the things that we need to
We
do?
carry on as usual. The voting is still
Okay.
underway. Until that's done, really, because a lot of stuff is dependent on this. Like once we have a sort of
Absolutely.
what's happening with it?
Absolutely.
Once we have a sort of end a stop to this, then we can
See which
decide
which island.
So after voting, as Aman said, we can draft like a really rough idea of what it financially would mean, and we can have contact, because now we have a winner. We need to contact the winner. We have to contact the agency and say like, "Hey guys, look, guess what?
We want your island."
Yeah, and after the plan is finished, after the really basic plan is finished, we should do this. In my opinion, but this is something that still needs to be solidified as a
One practical question: is there kind of like a limit of the number of years that we would be able to, let's say, use this island, or it's like for us forever?
If it's a freehold, as far as I know, it is really until we want to leave again.
Okay.
Is that correct,
Until
Amon?
we want to leave it there.
Yes, yes, that's actually correct. I'm sorry, I had some computer difficulties. I was gone for several minutes there, but
It's okay.
yeah, it is a freehold island. We would have clear title in perpetuity, so forever. In terms of what Kon was just saying about contacting the real estate agent, that's something that we need to discuss. But my idea is that we would first decide on a legal organization that would best benefit that purpose, and then contact them as the legal organization, rather than as a group of hundreds of hippies, right?
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So we need to part of it, but I mean the question was, Amon, what would be after this meeting? What would be the immediate step to take? And well, I responded, we're still in the middle of voting, so that just needs to carry on.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we can do research as far as possible on the islands. Maybe this drug route stuff still needs to be figured out more, I presume. And then, when we have a winner, then we can move forward to like the next steps. I would like to see this really from moment to moment. I'm not going to fret about really stuff that's not relevant right now. We need to have a winner first.
Yeah,
True.
but I guess with the things that it is going, it's like 74 votes are clearly ahead, right? Panama is clearly ahead from Mayagual is 74 votes ahead from Chile, Tortuga, isn't it? I mean, there is a clear difference now growing up. I mean, the difference is
Yeah,
really growing
you're
up.
correct. You're correct.
Yeah. So
And
that's good
we are
sign.
quick. Yeah, we are quick to make assumptions also about on this. We're
That's true.
already looking into the direction. But I mean, for all
I,
we know, on Wednesday there's a huge insurge of people in the group that all of a sudden pushes up Tortuga again. We don't know. We have
yeah.
to see what happens.
Yeah, and
It's so
the only
unpredictable.
thing, yeah, it's very unpredictable indeed. What
Yeah.
worries me, or rather, what I should, what I'm thinking in that, in this Tortuga group, there will be some who would be really very much interested to buy the island of Tortuga. So I mean, how is Ammon going to, or how are we going to, uh, let's say, divert them towards Panama, or I mean, how is it going to?
We
Because they
don't.
are probably more enthusiastic people than even some of the ones in the Panama group, who actually voted for
We
it.
don't. We don't. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's really
Okay.
up to those people. They can
Okay.
split off of the group. Like if they
Okay.
really want to buy Tortuga, then they can have it. Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
Okay. So they go with Tortuga, for example.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, no secrets, right? So, but I mean, there was a moment that with Mayagua, we also had something like, well, if the group chooses for this Italy island or for Tortuga, okay, that's the decision of this Nomad island group. But if people are not agreeing to this, they can split off and follow the Mayagua dream.
And then we have, instead of one, we have two Nomad
No,
Islands.
well, so if we both
No,
succeed,
it's even better.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
that's perfect. I mean, that doesn't hamper anybody of us. That doesn't harm anybody of us. And in fact, there are
Yeah, if
probably
they're
many
committed,
nomad
if
groups.
they're really committed to do,
Cares.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I mean,
let me jump
We
in
don't
on
even.
this.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but one thing that we really don't want to encourage is the division. We would like to get people involved in a single community project, as much consensus as possible, because let's be honest, the majority of people may be interested in the end result more than the process. And as we know, those of us who are involved on a daily basis, there is a considerable amount of work involved in organizing all of this. Now, if we have a consensus on a given locale, that effort is worthwhile. However, if we start to divide into separate groups with separate goals, which may be inevitable, maybe not, you're going to have to double the amount of energy that you're putting into those groups to make the two end results happen. And insofar as you divide, you also decrease the potential of success. I've tried to contact some of the other eco-village, nomad-based groups on Facebook and get them involved in our own project, unsuccessfully. But they have, of course, moved their own projects forward with the help of our own group, and I think that's a good thing. But for the whole idea of the nomad base, above all, we need to have one solid success. And with one success, I think that we can see some of the other nomad-based ideas succeed as well, especially if we as a group decide to push their projects forward as well. And of course, I'm not speaking about some of the rainbow gatherings, some of the eco-villages, and some of the other community and commune type organizations that already exist. I'm talking about our own, our own style of group. So once again, to repeat, I think to back off of that idea of division would be better for the moment.
Yeah. I think
Just a question: is it is our island group the unique nomad island group in the right now, or are they existing? As you said, like we could learn from them, no, a lot of things. I mean, are they sharing their experiences with us, or?
Um, it, and yeah, I'm in daily communication with some of the other group leaders, but their target, their tack, their approach is very different from ours.
Okay. I see.
And that's why we haven't really been able to meld our vision together, is because
And what do you mean by different? What are the different things that you observed?
one is that they want to be more business oriented. They want to have people who are owners and then people subscribers. Division isn't necessarily very healthy. But there are some other differences, but those are all ideological differences. I think that they have good chances of success, but we need to focus on what we have in joining our group together into one whole, and then pushing our vision forward, our dreams.
And this is
Perfect.
actually also an important thing, actually, as motivation point, to have also a clear idea about maybe our status. No, like even if it's premature now, but
How do you mean by our status? You're talking about the way the organizational structure is, or
yeah, like even if we cannot know it now because it's too early, but maybe we should think about the difference between the people who founds it, the people who it's going to put the more money, the less money, even if it may be premature now, but maybe without knowing this, we may refrain interested people to join because they don't know.
Well, I'm currently doing research on our island options, and creating a basic plan and suggestions for how we can proceed. So I think once we have actually decided on an island, we'll have some documentation that we can put before the group for them to look at, with a much more concrete idea of how we will proceed in the future. And I think that will resolve that question as well as other questions that people have at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Okay. That's
So,
it's almost 11 here.
yeah. Let's quickly. I'm just.
Here it's midnight.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about the organizational structure, and we're talking about the current organizational structure.
It's kind of mission for me. It's like this. Should we put this in the mission statement? Like, the stuff about the profit, non-profit. Like, about what is our mission. Of course, the main thing is that we want to be free. We want to be nomad. That we want to have this space as well.
I think we
But
should.
But you can add this in the comment. Look, you can add all these things in the comment.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
of course,
we
of
can
course.
we can add this to certain discussions in the future when we're looking in specifically into certain topics of conversation. But right now, as an overall, like the way the things are structured into the committees, has anybody got any other ideas of how this could be done differently? So
Yeah, actually, Chris, I'd like to add a note on that. I think that I made a mistake in trying to organize everything by committee. I think that was idealistic, but not very practical. What I think we need to do in the future is simply put the documents before the group, and then have an individual thread for an individual document or a topic, and then people can add their thoughts as they see fit. I think that will work a little bit more smoothly. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see coming up here. It'll be a little bit easier actually to do that once we have a single target in mind, because then we have an actual idea of if we're talking about water, or we're talking about sanitation, or we're talking about gardens, then we have a more concrete idea of what exactly we're dealing with and how to plan for that. But before that, I would like to add one little note, um, and that is I would encourage people who are viewing this to participate in whatever way that they can, especially by voting for your island's choice. I mean, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. This call is we need people to vote. We need people to participate and express themselves in that way.
It's really astonishing that people are registering for the Nomad Island and not voting. I mean, it's I don't get the point, you know. I mean, why
I
are
think
they?
it's a regular thing that happens. I find, like, if I'm going
Yeah.
to a Facebook event, I find if it's like a big event, I've been to a place where there was several 100,000 people saying they were going to turn up, and it was only a couple of thousand people that actually turned
Okay.
up. And
Yeah,
guess-
yeah, it happens.
Pretty
really
standard.
often.
Very standard.
Standard. Okay,
Yeah.
I have no experience.
People added maybe by someone they don't even know they're in the group.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Let's hope it's not the case of many, but
No, I think it's actually, Luke, you make a very good point. There are a lot of people that were added by other people, but I think that's actually the majority, because when I add people as an administrator to the group, I can see if they were added by somebody, or if they clicked, I want to join this group themselves. And it's by far the minority of people who were added by somebody else who's already in the group.
yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
they-
actually not really fair from Facebook that you can just add people, you know, and not invite. They should make something that that you can invite, but they should accept, because
But then we
Exactly.
still want these people to be able to see what we're up to get them
Yeah.
interested.
yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole idea,
Right.
right? To advertise and to let it propagate as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but then we should also just let go the idea that the number of members in the group is at all a reflection of involvement
No, it
in the
is
group.
not
or
a reflect. It is not for sure a reflection.
Yeah, but we
Maybe the
just
number of
need
the
to
voters.
let go of
Yeah.
this idea that that number that you see at the top of the group has nothing
Yeah.
to do with the actual interest in Nomad.
These
You know, it's,
2,340. It's like, we really.
It's like the sediment. The sediment of the group is the really interested one. But it's okay. I mean, that's how it should go. I think our it would
Yeah.
That's fine.
be
We'll
expected.
grow
Yeah.
in time. We'll get
Yeah.
more members, and and we'll get more people interested and get more involved. We're almost to the end. Woohoo!
Yeah, we made it, right?
well, we made it. We got
almost.
our island. Nice, cool, guys. Hey, I see you in Panama.
Indeed. My next holiday is in April, so I'm there.
So,
Have you up already, Avi?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want-
of course. Where do you want your bedroom to be?
South facing. South. Well, indeed. Well, there is a tremendous amount of excitement among all of us, and also I think they're very idealistic conditions. You know, let's say an equal world, as just Chris mentioned, and I think we should. I mean, if not us, then who? And we should do it. I mean, we are all educated, matured adults. Let's say matured, in quotes. And there is there is a very important guy with us, a sociologist, Mr. Ammon Franklin. So sociologists do explain a lot of things, and engineers, and we are like we are very stupidly focused people. So in some sense, but anyways, I think we should really take this much seriously. As from now, we should take it more seriously. Let's say, and we should keep on gathering momentum as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
but
the
with
main purpose of
Skype
this
and with
video, really.
Hangouts and
Oh.
YouTube, it's really easy.
Yeah. And Chris, you have done a fantastic job, man. I mean, I have to tell you, this is
It's
amazing.
really well done.
Really, I mean, I can't manage my Skype meetings properly. Excellent job, excellent. That is YouTube, and a lot to learn from you, man. A lot to learn
Oh,
from.
well.
It's always hard. It's always hard we're with a big group of people separated by location. It's really hard to do this stuff, to manage it. And so, because being physically together, it really does add something, you know?
Yeah.
It really, there's this thing that you can't quantify or can't touch, but it's you can have video, you can have voice, you can have all the things in the world, but being physically together is totally different world. that's what I took from other projects as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just one
True.
small question that I have. Sorry, just one small question. Is this group limited to only English speakers, or do we have non-English speakers as well? Like, like people from like this Latin America. Are they also there in our group? You think the from the ones who have voted?
There,
Like,
there are very few actually
okay, maybe.
people who do not speak English. Honestly,
Okay.
it's impractical to seek out a lot of people that don't speak English.
Yes.
It's
yes.
the communication is just so important, and to have a common language.
Yes.
I mean, English is just spoken everywhere basically, so it's an advantage.
Not in
for
yeah,
people
not in
to speak
yeah.
English.
South
Yeah.
America, I know that the thing is that like we are going to have our base in South America, let's say in middle South America, but we really have to have a lot of Spanish people, speaking people with our group. That's quite that's something that I guess. I mean, I know that probably some of you speak Spanish quite fluently, right? I mean, in United States, it's a second language, the Spanish.
There are a lot of us who speak Spanish. I mean, me personally, it's very limited. I read Spanish. I speak French and Arabic, but that's
Arabic, okay.
In Belgium also.
Spanish is something to work on.
Yeah, I'm starting a course on Spanish on next February. There's an intensive course for 2 months. I would like to do that, and that's quite important. I feel this whole thing is quite important from the language point of view as well. And yeah.
But once again, maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, and perhaps unless Chris has some other ideas, perhaps it's time to wrap this up.
Yep.
And we'll set up an agenda for our next discussion, maybe a time
Absolutely.
for our next discussion,
Yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and then we'll move on.
Something a little more specific, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah, the last topic was literally was just does everybody do you think everybody would feel safe with investing their money into this organisation that we're planning on setting up, and that was the last question. So this is going out to everybody, and really, if anybody wants to say if they have any doubts, or if they feel any way about investing, then this is a great time to put it out there and be able
Very
to...
good question. Very good question.
It all depends on the
Yeah,
structure we choose for it, how we are going. I mean, if it's just going to be Amon is publishing his bank account number and puts money on his account, then of course it's not going to be safe, and I don't feel safe, even though I trust
People
Amon
has to
with my
feel
life.
safe.
But
People
I mean,
has to feel
it's
safe.
it all depends on this, and we all still need to figure this stuff out. Like,
Yeah.
what is exactly going to be the structure of the
I guess
the
yeah. I guess
legal body?
we have to make a kind of like a lot of members has to come together, specifically with different geographical entities, and just find like form a legal group together, and none of the things can be allowed or approved without the signature of the others. So that way there should be some things like that. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, one of
Very
my
democratic, basically.
Checks and
Yeah.
balances.
Yeah.
But,
checks and balances. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
But
but
I-
that's too much. We
That's the
don't
next.
wanna
That's the
become-
next step. Indeed. That's actually the next step now
Yeah.
for us, because we need to
Sure.
form this organization, right? I mean, that's quite important.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that's everything, really. That's the
Great,
last bit.
great.
We finished
Okay.
the meeting. Woohoo!
yeah, we were
I
there. right?
will in Copenhagen. I will also stream. I will try to do a similar thing to make this
Oh yeah.
live streaming on YouTube. To have
It's
all
very
this
it's
interaction.
very important to record all the things that you're discussing.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
really
yeah,
really
yeah.
helpful.
And
Yeah.
then we make the post on Facebook that people can comment there. They can comment here. They can comment everywhere. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And also,
Okay.
this
Great.
functions as documentation for like future documentaries that will be made out of our project.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. We can
Remember
sell.
when?
Remember when exactly, and we can even sell them as like a successful project. So let's say this is step one. Take this video.
Oh shit! My face is just a picture.
Uh-huh.
And you're not even looking to us. I mean, you're like looking somewhere. We don't know where.
I feel, yeah, proud of myself. It's because of
Yeah,
guys,
this exactly. You know, like, oh, man, these people. Yeah.
Guys, Lukashenko,
Okay, all jokes
Lukashenko is
aside.
to blame, guys. The regime here is to blame, not me.
Okay, shh, don't talk about that.
Okay,
That was
guys.
political.
I
Okay,
feel
Good
this is
night,
gonna
guys.
go.
Good night to everybody. Then
it was a
I'm
pleasure
Yeah.
shaking
meeting
my
you all.
hand, even if you don't see them.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
a
Okay,
pleasure.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
okay.
let's
It was a pleasure.
maybe Amon or Chris could tell us the next day, next meeting date. Like when we are going
Not
to meet.
now.
Hey,
Later.
Not now.
guys,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was
We'll
just an
do we'll do
17,
experiment.
that.
I've not
17 of
even planned
October.
ahead yet.
17 of October will be.
Yeah.
In Copenhagen.
In
Yeah. Yeah.
Copenhagen, right?
Yeah, but I will make the live stream like this.
Yeah,
Perfect. Could we
I'll
join?
be
Could we
there.
also join? You think? I mean, could we also join from when you what you're speaking there in Copenhagen? Or
No, I
no?
mean, if you want to join, I will make the live streaming. And guys, you see who wants to join, and you
Okay,
know,
that's good.
Okay, Luke, let me jump in here just to kind of wrap this thing up, if you don't mind, Chris. I'm
Sure, go
looking
ahead.
forward to that. Looking forward to that meeting. Definitely, I think that's a great thing. We will have additional meetings like this, probably more specific topics. Once again, I hope everybody gets out and votes and it gets involved in the various aspects of the project. And I thank you
Absolutely.
all for everything that you've done for the group. As for me, I'm gonna sign out, and we
Me
will
too.
catch you all. We'll catch you all in the future. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Have a
Yeah,
nice
great.
week ahead. Have a nice
Goodbye,
weekend, all of
guys.
you.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
nice
Take
meeting
care.
you all.
Ciao.
Take care. Ciao,
All
ciao.
right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Hi.
nice. Yeah.
And
Bye.
Chris, thank you.
Oh, not a problem.
Yeah.
Anytime. Let me
I'm.
just disconnect this live stream.
Yeah.
I think it's only us two now.